Hallo, zusammen. So every year I like to do an update of how it's been living in Germany, anything new I've done or have had to accomplish in terms of getting closer to getting my German citizenship. So my goal is to get dual citizenship and to also hopefully learn more of the language. I could be doing better with that. That's always an issue with me. Ich bin ein bisschen faul. Well, maybe not a little, maybe a lot foul. But I feel like I have learned a lot in the past 3 years. So before I get into that and talking about all of that, I want to say thank you guys so much for your feedback on the videos with my little brother Gavin. He's my youngest brother. I really appreciate it. Most of you, actually almost everyone, has been so friendly, so kind. And of course that was my brother's first time really being on camera and in vlogs. And so yeah, it's a little bit, it's always a little bit awkward at first. I'm still awkward in front of the camera. Even right now, sitting here in front of the camera and talking to all of you, I feel a little bit nervous. But yeah, but he really enjoyed it. He loved Germany. He already wants to come back in December for the Christmas markets, which would be so great. Of course, I did ask him, are you sure that you want to be on video? Are you absolutely sure? And I did talk to him about what he wanted to do before he came to Germany. So we did do a lot of castles and things like that. He really likes history, so I thought that would be cool because we don't have that kind of history in the United States. And yeah, I think we went to some really beautiful places. And the good thing is, the more that he visits, the more places we're going to go. So I'm really happy about that. And for all the people that subscribed, I know that you really liked Gavin, which makes my heart so happy because that's my baby brother. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I want to learn more about German culture, German food, places I should visit, any recommendations any of you have, where I should go. I really appreciate that. So thank you guys so much for that. Sorry, I tend to talk a lot. But let's talk about my 3 years in Germany. So because there are so many new people here, I'm just going to briefly introduce myself. I will link videos down below. I have a video where I did introduce myself more in detail. And I also have the very first video I made where I talked about being an American in Germany and my experiences, likes and dislikes. That's a very embarrassing video, but I leave it up because it's interesting for me to look back and see how much I've changed since then. So I will link all of those videos below. I'll also link the video below of why I moved to Germany. To make it very, very short, you can watch the video if you want to for more details, but I met my husband online. I wanted to learn German and learn more about the culture. And of course my husband is German. And with time, I eventually decided I wanted to move to Germany and have been living here ever since. And we got married in September of 2022. So my actual 3rd year in Germany was on July 3rd of this year. So I'm a little bit late putting this video up, but obviously I had a lot going on. So let me go ahead and talk about what I've been doing, if anything is new. So really there are only a couple things that are new. I recently took my Leben in Deutschland test. So Leben in Deutschland test, that is about German politics and German history. So I still don't have the results for that test. It does take some time. I think those tests have to go all the way to Berlin, and then you'll get the results mailed to you. So still waiting on that. I think I passed it, but we'll see. And then I just very recently on July 4th took my B1 German test, the German language test. And I talked a little bit about that test recently in just a very short video. But basically that was testing you for B1 German on your reading, writing, and listening skills. And then you also had a speaking portion of the test. I felt confident about it when I finished it, but we'll see. Of course, when I get the results, I want to share that with all of you watching. Whether I pass or fail, we'll find out together. So that will be interesting. And yeah, I guess I want to talk about in general how I've been feeling living in Germany for 3 years now. So really a lot has changed from the very first year until now. I felt very uneasy and not really well in my first year, just adjusting to a new country. Before I moved to Germany, I had never been anywhere. I mean, I barely have seen the United States. So coming to a new country and then to live in a new country and then to start learning a new language, it was kind of overwhelming for me. So I had a lot of negative thoughts and things like that. And I still struggled with that. Sometimes today I still struggle with that. You know, it's easy, I think, to be negative and to kind of fall into that way of thinking about things. It's easier to do that, at least for me. And I also, that's also because I've dealt with so much homesickness, and it's not necessarily the United States or Virginia that I miss. I mean, I do miss my home, of course, but it's more just the familiarity of home, and then of course my family. So like my entire family still lives in Virginia. My mom, my dad, my 2 younger brothers, my nephew. So my brother Hunter, he's 28 years old and he has a son, and I'm very close to my nephew. I love my nephew very much, and he's very young. He's only 6 years old, so he's going through, you know, he's growing up and doing things, and I really just wish I could be there. I love to spend time with him, and I don't have children of my own, so my nephew and any future nieces and nephews I might have are gonna be like my own kids, basically. So it's very hard for me, and of course I miss both of my brothers. I'm very close to my brothers. My youngest brother, of course, you met, Gavin. I'm 16 years older than him, so he's 17 and I'm 33. So in a way, I always joke that I'm his second mom, because I am so much older than him, and I just love him. He's, you know, I've been with him since he was just a little baby, and same with Hunter too, but Hunter and I are closer in age, so we're only 5 years apart. But Hunter has really become like one of my best friends, actually. Like, even though he gets on my nerves a lot, which I think is normal for siblings, we really became good friends. And my dad, I miss my dad a lot too. My dad and I used to go to our favorite brewery all the time. It's called Six Bears and a Goat. I know it's a weird name, but it has to do with military. The people that own it were in the Coast Guard and the Navy. And we just used to have so much fun visiting at this brewery together, and we both had our favorite beer, which is called Mae West, and it's not quite like German beer, but it's still very, I don't know, there's something special. You know, if you have something that brings back good memories and nostalgia, that's what that beer does for us, or for me at least. So, and then my mom, of course, my mom is like my best friend, like my actual best friend. We still talk, we talk every single day. She video calls me every single day. So thank goodness for technology. Kind of helps with the homesickness, but you know, of course it's not the same as being home and being around your family. And of course I have my German family here, whom I'm so thankful for. If I did not have these wonderful people around me in Germany, I don't think I would have ever made it. They've been a huge support from day one. They've always believed in me. They've always, if I ever need help, if I ever need anything, they would be there for me, and I really appreciate it. My mother-in-law, meine Schwiegermutter, she is you know, like a second mom to me. She's an angel on earth, actually. She really is. And I feel so grateful. And to my husband too. My husband has been always a huge support. Anytime I feel like I've needed to go home because I just couldn't take the homesickness anymore, he has made it possible for me to go back home and visit my family. So I'm just surrounded by support in every way. My family back home also supports me being here in Germany. They see that I have such a wonderful life here in Germany, and they know that it's good for me. So I'm very happy that I have the support I have, because I know not everyone has that kind of support. So in terms of the language, I think I have improved with German. I do want to make more videos in just German, so if you want to, stay tuned for that. I think it would be good practice for me. And of course, I want to take you all along whenever I have something planned. I already have something planned on Friday, I think. So really happy about that. And yeah, I need to practice German more. I've always been really afraid to just speak to people in German. I think because I'm also afraid that I'll be misunderstood, or that I will annoy people, or, you know, I'm just so afraid. I'm really shy, actually, believe it or not, even though I'm putting myself on the internet, which still terrifies me. But so I just get really nervous. But then when Gavin was here, he was like, how do I order in German? Then he would just try it. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should not be so afraid and just say things. So I think I've gotten better with that over time, just talking to people, ordering for myself. I used to let my husband order all my food, but now I do it myself. I know that sounds silly, but it was something scary for me. And then some of the stereotypes about Germans. You know how some people say, oh, Germans are cold or distant. I used to think the same thing. When I first moved to Germany, I was like, do these people just not care about each other? But now I feel totally the opposite. Totally the opposite. Germans are some of the nicest, friendliest people I've ever met in my life. And they're genuine. You know, it's like, if you need help and you ask a German, I mean, of course it depends on the person's personality, you know, you can't lump a whole people into one group. But for the most part, they will do anything they can to help you. I have a German friend that I met through, I teach English actually online, and she was one of my students, and she's become like one of the best friends I've ever met. She's a wonderful person, genuine, kind, friendly, thoughtful, and I've noticed that that's really how it is with most Germans. So Germany has changed me in a lot of ways. And really, I never realized how American I was until I moved to Germany. And like a lot of you have said, learning a different language and experiencing a different culture really does wake you up to another part of the world, another way of thinking. And it's done that for me, so I'm very grateful. And I won't lie, I still have really bad days, but they're getting less and less. And since I've lived here, I've always actually kind of struggled with mental health since I was very young. And so since moving to Germany, I've been able to get help for that. It was very hard for me to find help in the United States. So I'm also very grateful for that. And I'm doing, I think, a lot better. And yeah, sometimes I'm homesick, but I think that's normal for the most part. And, you know, sometimes I let those negative thoughts kind of creep in and take over. I think I'm having more and more good days, and every time I get a little bit closer, for example, my next step, so right now I have my Aufenthaltserlaubnis, which is more like a temporary visa, and hopefully, drücke die Daumen, hopefully I pass my Leben in Deutschland and B1 German test. If I pass those, then I can eventually get my Niederlassungserlaubnis, which is essentially more like a permanent visa. And then I think I have to wait, is it 2 more years? Two more years maybe? And then I can hopefully apply for citizenship, and then I'll have dual citizenship. And it's funny, one of the ladies doing the test, or like performing the test at the Volkshochschule in Langenfeld for B1, she had asked me, you know, are you going to stop at B1 or do you want to continue to learn more German, like the different levels, like B2? And I told her, I said, actually, I want to keep going, you know, like, especially if I'm going to live here. Eventually, I would like to do a B2 class, maybe, with the Volkshochschule. And if I pass that, maybe keep going and do C1. That would be a huge accomplishment for me, because I never expected my life to take this direction. This is, in my wildest dreams, I would never think I would live over the ocean somewhere. I've been in Virginia my entire life. I was working there, living there. That's all I knew. And so it's just really interesting how life surprises you in that way. But anyway, so to kind of wrap things up, I'm feeling good overall. I love Germany. I feel much safer in Germany than I ever did in the United States. I think you all can guess why. So everything is really good, and seeing all the positive comments too. I mean, I know it's the internet and you're going to sometimes get people that don't agree with you or maybe just want to be mean, but actually most of the comments I've gotten, they've been so positive, so kind, so friendly. I've even received a couple of emails from people. I did read your emails. Thank you so much for sending them. I appreciate it. And it just warms my heart. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And yeah, look forward to more videos completely in German. I'm going to apologize in advance for my German skills, but gotta do it. Gotta try it, right? So if you've watched this far, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions for me or want to say anything, you can comment below. And I really hope to see you guys next time. So, bis nächstes Mal. Tschüss.